And so gratitude is one of those amazing practices that will literally transform your life very, very quickly. There has been thousands and thousands of scientific studies done on the practice of gratitude and the things that it can actually physically be shown to improve in our lives. And so I was doing a little research on that and came up with a list of about 6 things here that gratitude actually does for us. 1, it increases our serotonin, our dopamine, and our oxytocin levels. So you actually get that physical feeling of peace and well-being and happiness and love when we practice gratitude. It strengthens our connections with other people. By practicing gratitude, whether we're grateful for what we receive or grateful for what we give, then we can actually begin to develop a deeper and more meaningful connection with the people around us. It helps you feel better longer, so it extends the periods of ease and grace and joy that we have in our lives. It helps squeeze out the negative feelings. It helps eliminate the negative feelings that we often experience or associate with things. It actually physically strengthens our neural pathways in our brain to where that we actually begin to process things quicker and easier. And it will help tremendously with depression and anxiety. Just by shifting a simple experience of being grateful for something as opposed to resisting it or despising it or hating it or any of those things. If we start to look at ways that we can give and be grateful for giving, then we experience something different in our lives. And so over the years, centuries as a matter of fact, theologians have spoken about the magnificent gift of gratitude. In all of the sacred texts that we read, the practice of gratitude is mentioned in the highest forms in there. The theologian Meister Eckhart wrote, "If the only prayer you ever gave was one of gratitude, that would be enough. The only prayer you'd ever have to give is thank you, and that would be sufficient for everything." Imagine if we begin to live our lives from an attitude of gratitude, how the experience that we have in our life can be different. There are lots of ways of practicing this. One of the ways that I like to do is to actually make a conscientious effort to engage in gratitude on a daily basis. So I've created a document which is going to be posted below this video as a downloadable PDF. I believe it's also going to be on the announcement that went out about this service. So look for that. You can download it, and it will give you some information on how to practice this. But basically, what you're going to do is, I like to start off with a really nice journal, spiral notebook, something that is pretty and that I enjoy writing in. I like good paper and good pens, so that's just me, but get yourself something that is special to record your gratitudes. And so you set aside time of day that works for you. Maybe it's first thing in the morning you want to write your gratitudes. Maybe it's the last thing before you go to bed. It might be when you sit down to have your lunch in the middle of the day or take a break. But set aside 10 or 15 minutes each day to engage in a practice of gratitude. I like to write down at least 3 things I'm grateful for each day. And I try to look for unexpected things for me. I don't want to just be repetitively grateful for the same thing over and over again, although that is effective too. I like to find the things that are a little bit unusual in my life and actually say, "Oh, that was cool. Thank you." And express those and spend a few moments noticing how I feel when these things are brought up. When I think about this experience that I'm writing down in my journal as being grateful for, what are the feelings that are coming up inside of me? As I talked about with the spiritual mind treatment, the feeling tone of our spiritual work is so important. What is coming up within me? If we can take a moment and sit in that feeling of the experience, then something more powerful is happening through us, through that. It's more than just an intellectual activity. It's actually an embodied feeling. And it really begins to transform things in our lives with that. And you can repeat these each day. The other thing I like to do is I have a list of things that I don't always think about being grateful for. And so I like to look at those lists and then write down what I'm grateful for those things. I'll choose, I have about 50 things on the list, and I'll choose one of those things and say, well, what is it I'm grateful about for that thing? So let me give you an example. One of the things on my list is nature. So what is it I'm grateful about for nature? Well, when I'm driving around, everything is beautiful. There's a wonderful breeze blowing through the air. I get to sit and listen to the birds singing. I can feel the sunshine on my face. And so I start to actually begin to spend a little bit of time each day on one of these different topics to sit in that sense of gratitude about that. So some things that I've also put on my list are, what am I grateful for about the city that I live in? What am I grateful about my friends, my coworkers? Why am I grateful about animals? Things in my home. What am I grateful about in my body? My spiritual community, different places in the world, challenges in my life. Where are all these things that I'm grateful for about each one of these things? And so in addition to making my list of things that I've actually experienced that I'm grateful for, I take a look at these different areas of my life that I don't always focus on. And what is it I have to be grateful for in each one of those areas? And so I'll just take one area a day in addition to my three things that I write down for gratitude, 3 or more, and spend some time just sitting in this attitude of gratitude, this 15, 20 minutes of just relishing in this sense of, wow, look at how wonderful things are around me. And so, this idea of gratitude can really be a transformative force. So gratitude has another component, and that's the giving and the receiving. We can be grateful when we give things, that we have the ability to give things, that we can enjoy giving things, that we can get a sense of feeling something that's outside of our normal feelings when we give things. I don't know about you, but when I engage in giving, for me, it's often just the act of giving. It doesn't even matter what it is I'm giving, just the act that I'm able to give something, even if it's, give a smile, give some service, give a few dollars here or there, give a gift to a friend, give a special meal to a beloved. Any of these things that I do, I feel really good about myself when I'm in this act of giving. And then there's the opposite side of that. That's the receiving. And I think too often many of us shut ourselves off from receiving. I know that was my habit when I first started here at Centers for Spiritual Living. I remember we were doing a special event, and I was in the kitchen at our old center preparing food. And my shoulders had gotten really, really tight and stiff, and they were, hurting because I'd been standing there for several hours, rolling up little rolled sandwiches, And somebody came by and said, "Oh, can I?" Because they saw me twitching around. They said, "Can I rub your shoulders for you?" She was a massage therapist, and I'm like, "Oh, no, that's fine. I'm good, no worries." And my friend turned to me and she did what she usually do, slapped me on the arm and said, "When in the world are you going to learn to receive?" And I never realized until that moment that I had shut myself off from receiving. It was I don't know if it was a sense of not feeling worthy, if it was a sense of that I was putting somebody out by doing this. I don't know what it was, but when I started to gratefully receive things really began to shift in my life. Our founder, Ernest, has a wonderful quote here, and it's a little long, but I'm going to read it to you, that he talks about the act of giving and receiving. And so he says, "Wherever I go and whomever I encounter, I will bring them a gift. The gift may be a compliment, a flower, or a prayer. Today I will give something to everyone I come in contact with. And so I will begin the process of circulating joy, wealth, and affluence in my life and in the lives of others. Today I will gratefully receive all the gifts that life has to offer me. I will receive the gifts of nature, sunlight, rain, wind, the sound of birds singing, children playing, and the fullness of life all around me. I will also be open to receiving from others, whether it be in the form of a material gift, money, a compliment, a hug, or a prayer. Today, I will make a commitment to keep all things circulating in my life by giving and receiving life's most precious gifts, the gifts of caring, affection, appreciation, and love. Each time I meet someone, I will silently wish them happiness, joy, and laughter. Again, that's by Ernest Holmes. And so this practice of gratitude and giving and receiving is good as far as what we normally think of it. But there's another aspect of this attitude of gratitude that can really begin to shift things in our life. And it goes along back with what I was talking about the last 2 weeks on surrender and acceptance. In the first book of Thessalonians, the Apostle Paul writes, "In all things give thanks. In all things give thanks." This is gratitude taken to its next level. If we can begin to express gratitude for everything that comes into our experience, what a difference that can make in our lives. Because there is a gift in everything we experience, even the things we don't want to experience, even in the hardships, even in the disappointment, even in the pain, there is a gift available to us. If we can begin to look at those situations in our lives and ask the question simple, what is here for me to know? And thank you for bringing this to my awareness. What a difference that would make in our experience of each one of those situations and in our experience of life in general. Going back to that idea of acceptance and non-resistance that I spoke about last week. As long as we're holding on to it as if this is being done to me and I'm in a victim state here, then our experience is going to be greatly different than what is here for me to know, what is here for me to learn, and thank you for the experience. You can just feel the difference in the energy around the two things. One will keep us stuck and the other will set us free. In all things give thanks. What a blessing that can be in our lives. It's not easy sometimes. It really isn't, but it can really transform our experience of that event and what unfolds in our lives through those kind of situations. And so this idea of gratitude, it's a simple practice and it is a profound practice. It changes us. It mentally and emotionally changes us. It spiritually evolves us in greater and greater ways when we begin to diligently and dedicatedly practice gratitude. In all things, give thanks. So let's take a moment here and take this into our spiritual mind treatment and see what unfolds here through this. Gratitude is one of the components of our affirmative prayer. It is the fourth component. After we've stated our realizations, we simply give thanks. And you'll notice that as I do it, I'm not giving a laundry list of thank you. Thank you for my blessings. Thank you for my health. Thank you for my well-being. Thank you for my friends. I'm not doing that. It's a general sense of gratitude. Thank you for knowing this truth. Thank you for the experience of the divine within my life. A little broader, but yet it's more open at the top and allows us to experience gratitude in a different way, even within our spiritual mind treatment. So I just invite you to just get comfortable. Or not, We often talk about having to be comfortable to do things, but my belief is that transformation doesn't happen in the comfort zone. So, if you're not comfortable, that's okay too. But I invite you to relax into it as best as possible. And if you're comfortable with that, just go ahead and close your eyes. Just center yourself in whatever way you choose. I like to take a couple breaths and feel myself within my body. And so I begin this prayer with gratitude. I begin this prayer by giving thanks for the knowing of this divine presence within me. I give thanks for the evidence of it within the universe. I give thanks for it, knowing it is operating in each and every life of everyone I encounter. and all of those beyond that. For I know that this one divine, creative energy is continually bringing itself forth into expression through each and every one of us. It is that one power and that one presence that has so intelligently and lovingly brought forth everything into existence. I know that nothing resides outside of this one presence. And because I know this is true, I know this is true for me as well as everyone else, that we are all each a unique and divine manifestation of the Creator, brought forth to allow the creative energy to experience itself through us in this time and this place. And so, knowing this truth, I speak my word. I am so grateful to feel this power and presence moving through life. I'm so grateful to see the evidence of it all around me. I know that each person I encounter, each experience I have, that the divine is fully and completely present in it. I know that this power and this presence is moving itself forth into expression always. And that as we relax into that knowing and allow that grace to lead the way, our lives unfold beautifully, easily, and effortlessly. I know that this practice of gratitude is a transformative force within this entire world. And how amazing this world will be as it embraces this idea of gratitude. Watching it show up in expression in each and every face I encounter as I move about my day. What a joyous blessing that is. And so I just simply give thanks for this knowing. Thanks for this expression of truth moving through all life. And thanks for the power and the presence right here and right now. And so I release this word. I release it into that divine, loving, creative law that has no limitations, that always says yes. I let it go and I let it be. And so it is.